It's almost nonsensical these days for a hit video game to not have a sequel. Video games are a billion-dollar industry, and much like the film industry, when something hits big, you bet your ass there's gonna be a franchise. So it may come as a surprise when certain hit titles don't have sequels. Luckily, games like The Last of Us and Red Dead Redemption are finally fulfilling our wildest dreams and giving us more of these stories to sink our teeth into. But what about the ones who have been giving us radio silence on the sequel front? Or the ones that you know just have to be coming? Well, today we're counting down the top 10 video games that need a sequel, and hopefully we'll be able to answer those questions for some of the beloved titles on this list. And at number 10 is GTA 5. Okay, I know, it seems a little contradictory considering how we started off this video, but you all know it's true. GTA 6 is coming. And while the internet isn't exploding with rumors just quite yet, every time there's a slight slip up, like that one actor who recently posted a voice credit for GTA 6 on his online resume, people go wild. GTA 5, along with titles like The Last of Us, set a precedent for modern gaming. And with the strides that Rockstar has made over the last several years, we can be sure that this game will be off the charts impressive. Also, it's speculated to take place in a fictional Miami, and that's just pretty damn cool. Up next, number 9 is Overwatch. Overwatch is an example of a game that's constantly changing. Through free updates and new patches, the game continues to expand. And as many of its fans have pointed out, it's more about the metaphorical journey you experience as a player with this first-person shooter rather than the specific end destination. Anyway, needless to say, a sequel to the Blizzard game would do incredibly well market-wise. And it seems, according to Jeff Kaplan, the possibility of another Overwatch game isn't entirely off the table, although nothing has been confirmed or vigorously hinted at. Up next, number 8 is Beyond Good and Evil. So yeah, at E3 this year they announced Beyond Good and Evil 2. But that's the thing. Sometimes games shown at E3 aren't entirely finished or never released. They end up in development hell, and it's an unfortunate fate that many fans hope won't be the case for this game. This sequel has been stuck in development hell. It's been in the works for years, with Ubisoft hesitant to invest in a sequel after the first game came out in 2003. In 2007, rumors started up again that the sequel was happening, with the trailer being released in 2008, and then for the next several years the state of the game and its development progress was incredibly unclear, and at E3 it was confirmed to be a prequel game as opposed to a sequel. But no release date has been announced. Up next at number 7 is Spelunky. An open source indie platformer, Spelunky was released initially in 2008, created by Derek Yu and Andy Hull. For those of you who haven't played it, you play as a spelunker, who ventures through a bunch of caves and finds treasure and saves damsels in distress. The game received great reviews, and many fans would love a sequel to the game. According to Andy Hull, the possibility is still on the table. He and Derek moved on to different projects for a while, but they definitely want to work together again in the future. Whether or not that's on Spelunky 2 or just on a game that pulls influences from Spelunky, well, it's still up in the air. Up next, number 6 is Fez. Fez is an indie puzzle platformer that allowed the player to rotate between a 2-dimensional world and a 3-dimensional world. Praised for this mechanism and what it added to the puzzle genre, Fez was a critically acclaimed game, and it was created by indie developers. There's even a Netflix doc on it. So naturally a sequel was put into the works, but designer Phil Fish wasn't so keen. After getting into an online argument with a journalist, Fish announced that Fez 2 was cancelled, and also made his exit from the video game industry. Up next, number 5 is Limbo. Limbo is one of the more popular demands out there on the interwebs in terms of fans wanting a sequel. And can you blame them? If you haven't played Limbo, you're missing out. It's simplicity at its finest. You play a little boy in a grayscale world trying to find your sister while encountering a variation of hellish creatures. The sense of empathy it conveys in the player is astonishing, and players wanted more. The game does have a spiritual successor though. Another game called Inside, made by the same developer Playdead, features similar gameplay and tone, but it has a little bit more of a structured narrative. Up next, number 4 is Bully. Another Rockstar game to make this list, Bully was an open world story that followed a boy named Jimmy, a rough and tough student rising in the ranks of his private school system, and its social system that was full of bullies. And there's been talks for years about a sequel. In July 2013, Rockstar filed a trademark application for Bully, and after a hoax article made rotations online back in 2016, this year more rumors have spread since the announcement of the Red Dead Redemption sequel. A Grand Theft Auto insider claimed that the sequel was next in the pipeline after Red Dead's. Up next, number 3 is Grim Fandango. Grim Fandango was a point-and-click adventure game by LucasArts that was heavily influenced by film noir and Aztec afterlife lore. The game follows protagonist Manny, a travel agent in the afterlife, as he tries to save a newly arrived soul. Creator Tim Schafer has stated that he'd love to do a sequel, and has been thinking about it since the 90s. And if he ever did it, it would be inspired by the open world gameplay from Grand Theft Auto. Schafer also discussed how it may be difficult to do a sequel considering how the story ended with Mandy in the first place, but that doesn't change the fact that a sequel is still a possibility. And our number 2 spot is Eternal Darkness: Sanity's Requiem. One of the more mature Nintendo titles to ever be released, Eternal Darkness is a psychological thriller. The game follows 12 characters as they uncover mysteries at a haunted mansion in Rhode Island, and it introduced something called the sanity meter that reflected the player's sanity throughout the game, which was super cool because it used techniques like skewed camera angles, sound design, and even breaking the fourth wall, all to impact the player's experience when their sanity was thinning in the game. A sequel was apparently in the works with developers Silicon Knights, but it was cancelled when the company went bankrupt. And finally, in our number 1 spot is LA Noire. At the time Rockstar released LA Noire, players were blown away by its use of motion capture technology. The game was beyond its time, so much so that some critics actually slammed it for its motion capture, making the NPCs feel unrealistic or robotic. Fair. A lot of older graphics in games and even in films feel this way. But think of what tech like that could do for a game these days. With all of the strides Rockstar has made over the last several years, imagine what a follow-up to LA Noire could be like. And with the recent announcement that it's been remastered for the PS4, along with previous chatter from developers about seeing the game as a potential franchise, we wouldn't be surprised if an LA Noire sequel or spiritual successor is on the horizon. Alright, there we have it. Which of these games do you wish was getting a sequel? And which potential sequel are you the most excited for? Let us know in those comments below. And as always, if you dug this video, do us a big favor and hit that like button. And subscribe! We'd love it if you stuck around some more. Speaking of which, if you want more Top 10 Gaming, why not check out one of the videos popping up on your screen right now? Go on, I know you want to click them.